gonna murder this one and murder that one. Talking all that bullshit. I'm gonna put it to you like this, yo.
This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know it, I know.
Nikki.
What
is poppin', everybody, and welcome back to another special episode, which includes, but is not limited to. Oh yeah, I forgot the OnlyFans part because you threw me off. Anyway, Berkey, go ahead.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special episode number 420. As you hear, Conrad's voice has changed a little bit, probably from the drugs. Poor Conrad, catching strays. We have a very interesting show today. Different crew.
We have a show.
We got a totally separate crew here. Guapo, he couldn't be with us today. He claimed, allegedly, that he had COVID, but we found footage of him at Bally's during the G-Man return, and I got to tell you, he doesn't look sick at all.
He's sick in the head.
Maybe a little sick in the head. Might be a little sick in the head. Here's Guapo. Ignore that photo. That was taken weeks ago. If you could just click on the video, though.
Hey, Garrett, when are you going to give the money back to Robbie? Garrett.
Let's go.
When are you giving the money back?
Get him out.
Garrett.
All right, you can cut out of this. So now, as you see, Guapo's in jail.
He came and bothered me at work.
Right.
So embarrassing.
He tried to accost Nikki. Did you feel?
Go home, Guapo. He was wearing a mask though, so I appreciated that.
Wow. Because of the COVID.
Because of the COVID. Yeah.
All right,
man.
sorry guys.
It's okay.
But of course, when Nikki started talking,
Mm-hmm.
her camera went out. Oh, hi, I'm Guapo. Apparently,
Yeah.
Yes.
he just has that up, huh?
He does.
Right.
As he should.
Yeah,
It's a part of the show.
Nikki's camera is dead, so you need to,
man.
do your thing.
It's
What the
dead?
fuck?
Wow.
Look what you did.
All right. Well, I'm going to vamp. That's what they call it in the biz. As we have a single shot on me, and we're going to figure out this camera, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. Try turning it off and turning it on again. That usually works for my computer.
Sick vamp.
Well, I don't know.
He's cooking. Let him cook.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a computer science degree, so
He's flailing. Put on the fuzzy hat. Put on the fuzzy hat.
Put the fucking hat on.
I think I'm very well equipped to restart a camera.
Not equipped with a fuzzy hat, that's for sure.
I'm not wearing the stupid fuzzy hat. Look, it's in the shot.
Whoa.
It's not stupid for you and Caitlin. It looks wonderful on you and Caitlin. By the way, welcome, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. We do have your shot. You're a little bear.
I'm Lamanna.
You are kind of Lamanna today. Landon.
It's 420 day, bro. We're
Landon,
here.
you can't be helped.
I don't need to be helped.
At least he's not showing his feet. That's
Can you
all I
explain
care.
the baseball bat to me, Holmes?
It's my bat.
Says you. Come take it.
There it is.
Yay!
Doesn't that feel better?
Oh,
No.
look at a special little guy.
Yeah,
You're
look at
part
him.
of the crew.
He's a silly little goose. That's a silly goose.
He's a silly little goose.
You look like Mushmouth from
Smash Mouth?
No, Mushmouth.
Hey now.
You're a rasta.
All-star. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Mushmouth from Hey, Fat Albert. Yeah.
That's
Fat
way
Albert.
before his time. Oh
I know
my
about-
god.
I know
Well,
about,
no, they did a movie while he was alive.
I know about Fat
while he was
Albert.
Is
alive.
that from Club Penguin?
Keenan-
That reference?
Kenan Thompson was the lead.
Love Club Penguin.
What the fuck is Club Penguin?
Don't worry about it.
We don't know.
Do we
Too-
still not have a camera on Nikki?
Nothing.
Oh man.
Too hot
It
to
literally
handle.
was just working. Too.
Well, what you can do is you can switch the camera that's on you right here, and you can put it on her. I'll continue to
Keep vamping.
I'm rolling, baby.
Vamp
Baby.
God.
I'm rolling. Don't worry. I'm just gonna
This is our
get
best
us,
show yet.
Let me get us into some shit. So we got a lot to talk about today. We have the WPT main event 1D. Is today D?
That's right.
Are we in the D?
Yes.
We're on the D.
Big
okay.
D.
The big D. It needs to be a big D. It needs to be a very, very, very enlarged D.
For Conrad and Brian?
Well, no, for the sake of the WPT. So
for overlay's sake.
Coming into today, they had just over half the entrants necessary after 1A through C.
They need 4,000 total.
4,000 total. They had like roughly 2,200 coming into today. So we need an 1,800 person field on day 1D, which, by the way, I'm going to play this. I'm likely going to play it after this. And if they get 1,800, how long am I going to be in line for? Because I don't have the patience.
Not that long.
Are you sure?
I feel like you might know a person or two that could cut you in the line, Berks.
Brian, if you're out there and you're listening, we can cut line maybe a little bit. I'd really appreciate that. Yesterday was 800 and change.
It was, yes.
So they need more than double yesterday's flight, which the last flight's always big. You know, it's one of the biggest flights, but was it 1,800 big? Do we just got 1.8 million laying around Las Vegas right now?
You know what? Speaking of flights,
hey,
and speaking of camera shots,
Ooh.
might be because the flight from Bahamas was delayed. That like a lot of people were gonna come from the WSOP Bahamas, and are you centering me? Oh, okay. And their flight got delayed.
Sounds
so
like Jeff Platt curse.
Jeff Platt got on the plane. According to Sean Teeb, Jeff Platt got on the plane, and then everybody had to delay.
It's not a thing. It's totally a thing.
Sure, Jan.
It's totally a fucking thing. Poor Platt. I heard that according to Deeb's tweet, Platt had to deboard.
Yeah.
With like 25 other people. Like, sorry, man, you've done enough. Stick around the Bahamas for another week.
Go.
Man. Well, while we're talking about the Bahamas, there was an eventual winner to the 5K main event there, which did hit the guaranteed by like, I think it was like 3 or 30 people, like literally 15 million flat in the prize pool. Big shout out to the main event winner, Sven.
Yeah.
Sven won.
There he is.
Oh, he's cute. Do you think he's married or gay? If not, I'm not interested.
Well, I think I think it was predictable. I'll say that much. No, big shout out to Stanislav Zegel. He ended up taking down the 5K main event for 2 million flat. Our one and only friend of the show, Matt Glantz, 4th or 5th place, 750K.
He runs like fire.
Bro just ripped it with 6s and beat aces. He doesn't give a shit. He's the honey badger, man. He doesn't give a shit. Him, Deeb, Weinman, they're just all on Team Lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky crew.
Yep. Are
they accepting applicants?
God, I
I'm
would
adjacent.
love that.
I'm Lucky crew adjacent. I've sold some pieces.
I wonder if there's like, I feel like there's an age barrier to getting into this crew. Like you have to really put in your time.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
gotta put
their
in,
age.
I know, but I don't know if I'm lucky enough is the thing. Like
So-
I think I'm old enough, but I might just like,
You have to put in more volume to be lucky.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm like too much of a heel to kind of like be welcomed in.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
you're like the Eeyore of the group, so like I feel like you'd reign on the lucky parade.
Yeah, like if they're the Peanuts gang, I'm kind of Pigpen.
Yeah.
You know, I just got like stink lines coming off of me. Like, ooh, gross. Get out of here, dude.
Like, oh, there's that Steelers fan again. Ugh.
Come on. Not like this. Okay. We beat the Packers. That's our crowning achievement.
So when are you getting slapped? I don't.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
It's
you
to
tell
be
me
determined.
new Conrad.
Yeah,
I gotta take the spot.
Could you please slap me instead?
Wow, you don't think I can slap that hard? Wow. Ooh, it's getting. Ooh. Let me sharpen the slapping hand.
Based off what I'm witnessing right now, I feel safe.
God damn it.
Forehand, backhand.
Put on your fucking fuzzy hat right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, get some
no.
calluses on those hands.
Yeah, well, to be fair, Conrad's a little soft.
Maybe you could hip check him since you got them hula dancing hips.
I put some rings on.
I have an idea. I really don't want a handprint across my face.
No, my butt could probably hurt someone.
That's my favorite part about you.
Yeah, I know.
Awkward moment. Let's move on.
She said I should hip check you instead.
No, I heard what she said.
All right,
I just,
well,
you know.
Let me
Pretending-
gas up my best friend.
Yeah, what's
You
your
two-
problem?
Actually, that's like okay for me to do,
You
sir.
two can throw as many innuendos back and forth as you like. We just can't really insert ourselves in this conversation.
Is this
Insert
negging?
yourself
Is
in
this
Okay,
the negging
come
we were
on.
talking about?
Let's not. I'm trying to run a ship here.
Okay,
You
go
know,
ahead.
The game is gone.
There are famous people in the chat. We got Wayne out there. We got Dankness out there.
Oh my god.
These are high profile people.
The ship is
Kira
gone.
Loves You is in the chat.
This
Let's
is a
fucking
mutiny.
go.
It's Cairo.
Cairo, Kira.
You only call him Kiro when you're trying to tilt him.
All right, well then Kira loves you.
Aw.
I'm here for the tilt. Marley is in the other
Yes.
the other tour.
The other main.
EPT Prague.
EPT Prague.
Why are you so happy about that?
Because she's bestie.
Yeah, she's like in the final 2 tables or something.
EPT
26
Prague,
left.
we
Final
love
3
Prague.
tables.
Does anybody know
There's 26 left, or there was like an hour ago.
Okay, do we know what's first? What is first?
First is $1 million.
Ooh,
Euros.
I know she has like locked up 30K somewhere around
26K was the last thing that she tweeted. So she's running deep. We have a little clip from Poker News where she did a brief little interview. Go ahead.
Believe I'm here. It's insane. Things are getting real now. I guess my game plan is to just take it one hand at a time, not get too ahead of myself, and make sure I take time out with my decisions and just slow down. Well, I don't. This is the first time I ever did, so it feels good this one time. I can't believe I'm here. It's
Unmuting.
insane.
Big shout out to Marley. Hopefully she can take this thing down.
Pray for sis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
$1 million.
Take down those Svens.
€1 million. It's more than dollars.
The Svens aren't there. It's
yeah,
even
they're all in the
better.
Bahamas.
They're,
That's right.
They're just now getting out of the Bahamas.
That's right.
So
Svens are here.
this is EPT Prague main.
Yes.
So man, I didn't think there was that much overlap. I thought you could play the main there and the main here.
No.
Oh, Pads made it seem like a lot of people were playing both. Yeah, it'd be great for her. Biggest live score prior, maybe.
She ran deep in
speculating, I
the
guess.
WPT last year, the championship game, and she had a fairly big score, if I recall. It was like 40K or something like that.
40K is nice.
It was something like that, yeah.
I'm gonna be in. No, I'm not. I faded the 40K.
Yeah,
Huh?
I played the 31.2K.
Yeah, I'm only in for 1 bullet so far, and now I'm to be determined for today because I am first up in the WPT cash game.
All right.
It's 300, 600. A fantastic lineup. I'm first alternate. It's going to be Santosh, Socia, I think Bob Bright, Roble, Garrett, Hans. I don't know who's filling out the last 2 seats. Oh, Charles from Hustler.
So can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Even though there's a shot at like what would first be like 8 million with a $40 million guarantee, what would you think, like 7-8 million?
Probably like 5-ish.
5 million?
But yeah.
Even though there's a shot at 5 million for the main, would you rather play the cash game?
I would rather play the cash game. I'm going to attempt to play both.
Okay.
So I'm going to play the tournament after this and then just try to run up a stack and then abandon it
And then
if I get a call to the cash game and hope
run to the stage.
Yeah,
just,
that'd be pretty
Leave your
base.
stack there.
just like hope that it bags,
That's so sick.
right? Like, I mean, you start with a lot. If you take starting stack into day 2, you have 30 bigs.
Okay.
So like if I can get up to like 250, I'm not going to blind down below starting. I'd be happy to take day 2.
It's almost 30 bigs. Big blind 6K, you have 100.
Oh, I thought it was 3K.
No. You end at 6.
Okay, well,
You end at 5.
So
you
just
play
your plan is
20
to
bigs,
triple
then.
your starting stack.
15 bigs, whatever.
Just triple your starting stack and then blind out and play the cash game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, though, I don't really know that I'm actually going to get a chance to get in. I think the stream is only what time did they end last night? 10:30,
Yeah, around there.
and they started at like 3:30, I think, right?
Like like 4:45.
That's what time it goes live.
Oh yeah, so
They have the delay.
at 4 like 4.
So yeah, call it like 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a 6-hour cash stream, give
Yeah.
or take. Who's leaving that lineup, right? Only first of all,
Unless someone goes to a secret private game. They take them away.
Yeah, I don't think Airball's in there.
Is 10K like the average pot that you can feel comfortable buying into a 10K tournament and then like planning to abandon your stack if necessary?
Well, a single raise pot in that game, assuming you made it to the turn, would be 10K. Like
Okay, so just win one pot.
a
It's an easy game.
single raise pot with a C bet would be a 10K pot. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not abandoning the stack. I'm not going to blind out.
Yeah. No, your
I'm
game
just going to make
plan's
day 2 with like crumbs.
Right.
And maybe there's a little pee break where I get in there and go fire a couple.
What was that?
A little,
I don't know.
you never get a little.
I've never. No.
Oh, Well, that's, you go and you look
I
at.
think that's a cat jam. I think that's.
Yeah, you look at King Queen suited and you realize that like you're trying to accumulate chips.
How dare you? It was offsuit.
Just here we go. And then you let them know, like, hey, I got a big cash game I got to get to. So you try to get the light call, have the ace-5 call off. Pray to God that you win that flip.
It's free coaching. Wow.
I mean, like, look.
It's all for why that I.
Everybody who's trying really hard in tournaments, you're wasting your fucking
Wasting your time. Same with relationships.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
You gotta treat tournaments like relationships. The person that cares the least wins.
100%. It couldn't be any more true, to be quite frank.
Shout out to emotional distancing.
Well, you're gonna flip no matter what, right? So let's not try to pretend that we're gonna avoid them. You get 2 9s and you got a cash game to go play up on the stage.
I think you're being a little cavalier about one of like the deepest tournaments all year.
Deep.
No, I'm not. Deep means that the average stack is 50 bigs. That's not deep.
How
where I come
long
from.
are the levels?
Hour-long levels.
90
You
minutes,
start
day
with
2.
200 bigs.
That's nice.
90 minutes, day 2.
Yeah, but like
I
good
like that.
structures just mean you get to fold a lot more.
I love
all it
those
means.
structures.
There's a lot of
What's wrong
folding
with folding,
yesterday.
Matthew?
It's
half
boring.
of the game.
A, it's boring.
You're boring.
B, you're just doing it to eventually get in with ace king versus queens anyway.
You know what I like to do sometimes, and it's like a soft angle or whatever, but like if I like make a big fold, I'm like, folding, second strongest move in poker. And then like one time I said it at the table recently, and this gal and I were out on the break, and she's like, I was in that spot and I was thinking about what you said about how folding is the second strongest move in poker. This is at the lodge, and I'm like, yeah, that's my gal.
Keep that in the forefront anytime we're in pots.
I know, exactly.
You can't lose what you don't risk, sweetie. Like let's move on. Shout out to Natasha Mercier. She came close to shipping a bracelet as well down in the Bahamas. And in spite of making a deep run, she put a pretty funny tweet out that said, "For all of the nice, kind humans in the Bahamas, Jason isn't quote unquote so nice to let me play. I quote unquote let him parent for 3 days of his own children. Okay, cool." What do you girls think of?
So like ladies.
Throw it over to these childless hags.
All right, fuck you. The run-up show says female perspective.
It's so we could roast you and be like and gaslight you to the Reddit show doesn't say that.
This is literally just a setup.
You basically called them childless hags.
How dare you?
That's their choice.
No, I feel like this happened in comedy a lot too, where like if a female stand-up was doing a tour, they always get the like, well, who's taking care of the kids?
Who's watching the children?
And it's like their father. And it's I don't know, it spun a whole like talk in the thread about like how guys will call it babysitting when they're watching their own kids, and guys don't really get asked the same question.
I would do that, but it's not because I would feel like a lesser parent or I feel like it's not my responsibility. I would call it babysitting if I were watching my kid, because I'm doing only about as adequate of a job as a babysitter would, right? Where like you're mothering the children,
Right.
Not you specifically. But
I'm mothering your children.
Right.
These hypothetical children.
But my hypothetical wife is mothering the children. I'm making sure they don't die. That's my sole purpose. It's like, hey, can you keep an eye on these two and make sure that they actually don't physically die?
Are you going to be the father that doesn't say I love you? Are you going to be the father that like
totally
never
that
hugs,
father.
no affection?
The no affection part, yeah, it kind of skeeves me out
I
a
love
little
you
bit.
because there's food on the table. Is that you?
No.
Yes.
No, that's not me. I can say I love you to people that I love, and I can give hugs, but it stops there.
How many hugs have we had lifetime?
You have to initiate. I'm not going to initiate.
You've initiated 2 hugs.
Yeah, they were warranted. I owed you one.
You're being a piece of shit.
I was being mean.
Rude.
Yeah, if you just dole out hugs and I love yous all the time, how are you going to make people feel better whenever you're a dick?
That's true. They did a study on dogs where like there were some of the dogs they always gave positive attention to, and some of the dogs they only give negative attention to, and some of them they mixed it, and the ones that they mixed were the most obedient because they just didn't know what they were doing to get the positive attention, so they would just try to do everything to please the person.
Right.
Pretty interesting study there.
You gotta
Called
withhold
authoritarian parenting.
You gotta withhold a little love every now and again.
You give it, and then you take it away.
That's right. That's right. We're simple creatures.
It sounds terrible.
This is very toxic traits there.
I don't want any of this.
Carrot on a string. This is what keeps people around. You know, you got to keep it dangling.
That's how his strategy sounded.
That's how
to
Nikki
me.
keeps me in line.
That's right. Little angle in the dangle.
Big dangle.
Big dangle in this one.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I trust Jay as a dad. I think that, you know, he's pretty good at all the things he does.
Yeah, I think it's more the comments from the very kind people. Like,
right.
Like I wonder sometimes if guys get asked the same question. Maybe I can ask you. Like, sometimes if I'm playing out past like 1 a.m., it's like 2 a.m., and I'm playing, there'll be several people asking me if my husband lets me stay out this late.
Or if the ring is fake.
Or if the ring is fake, yeah, because it can't be true.
Right, you obviously have a curfew when you're
100%. Or I did something to earn this.
Yeah, I think the other thing that also makes this insulting is I think people forget that like Natasha's no slouch.
Yeah,
she has quite the track record. Like she has a pretty good poker career prior to choosing to become a mother, and you know now that the kids are getting to an age where she can kind of get back out there, doesn't seem all that ridiculous.
No, it's
that
not
Jay
at all.
Is just kind of not still in an event and has kid duty.
I think that's her point. You know? And I think I've heard similar things from other poker player couples, like where the guy's very well known as a poker player. So it's like, oh, well, like now you're just relegated to being the wife.
Yeah. I feel like this is something that could potentially happen to Farrah once and only once. Because I feel like whatever her retort would be so sharp and piercing that whoever said it would just be made an example of. Like, okay, well, that's
true.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
The buck stops here.
Yeah, that kind of thing. All right, let's talk a little bit WPT main event now. Looks like there might be an overlay. It's exciting. Yay.
I told you I was mildly confident in the garage.
You did.
Are there more satellites?
There's a turbo running
minute,
right now. Yeah.
Oh shit. Should I hop in right now?
Well, Melissa's allegedly in it. So you're not playing?
No.
Okay. The tortoise is down there right now. He's playing.
Turtle's in.
Conrad is either in the satellite or firing. We're not sure.
One of two.
He's not here. Caitlin, you bagged?
Yes, sir.
Lots? Littles?
251.
That's good.
Pretty good.
So that's 40-ish?
Yeah. I was disappointed with myself because I was like chip leading at dinner break. I won 2 massive pots. I had 458 at dinner break, and I didn't hear or see of any other stacks bigger than that. And then I lost 3 big pots, but I didn't spaz so hard for 4 levels straight that we still managed to get a decent stack in the bag. So I'm happy.
That's such an ego trap in tournaments. I've fallen for this so many times. Like when Twitter first became a thing, the posting the chip lead stack, because you forget that you don't go wire to wire. Like no one ever fucking goes wire to wire. And then you're so disappointed an hour later when you're like, below average, send prayers.
But I mean, like, honestly, I did want to capture the moment because I've never chip led a 10K event, like even for a level before. So I really did want to like drink in the moment and fully like accept it and see it and like, oh wow, I've worked like really hard at my game and I'm in this like really sick spot right now. And like I did that shit. And I like obviously know I'm not gonna like chip lead for 7 days straight or whatever, but while I have it, I'm gonna like fucking high five my friends and be like, let's go suck my dick.
Then you get set over set and remember that this game is a fucking cool
It's a very humbling game. Yes. yes.
You get set over set and you realize that's how you did to other people in the first place.
Yeah.
You just picked.
I'm better at that now, but in the past it would always be like, why does this always have to happen? If I won that pot.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole concept.
Spiel.
If I just won that pot,
if you just folded the river,
that was for a chip lead pot. I would have won the whole event. I never won.
I had a spot like that in the prime. My bust out hand, I had 24 bigs. Tell me if this is a punt. And I reshoved over an 18. So it was a under the gun open, 18 big blind rip.
Mm-hmm.
I used 2 time chips thinking about it because I feel like the rip is like aces and aces only.
What?
And I looked down. I did based on the player profile type and I had a feeling. My intuition was going off. So I used 2 time chips thinking about it, but I eventually reshoved 24 bigs with queen. And then
from where?
The under the gun player called off 2, and I was up against aces and kings. It was like $2 million. If I won, it was a $2 million pot, but the kings was the big stacked, and he scooped for like 2.5 or whatever.
People jamming aces here hurt my heart.
That's insane. It's
Hurts
like
my
the
heart.
clearest trap ever. Like
Right?
you should just call. You should call. You should happy shove, and then they should
Someone
both
was
just
trying to
snap
tell
your
me
dick
it
off.
was a punt at the players' party. They're like, that's a fold, right? I'm like, I don't think I have enough bigs to
They're
fold
negging
queens.
you, Caitlin. They're trying to neg you.
Can y'all quit negging me? I just like want attention, positive only, please.
State his name so we can shame him on the podcast.
Andrew. It was the guy named Andrew.
Shame. You don't fold fucking queens to a raise and a 3-bet. What's the matter with you?
You're a bad guy.
You're a bad guy.
Yeah.
Aces and kings.
Dude, I had
People 3-bet other hands.
No.
Yeah, they
I
That's
really
true.
know, but like I felt it. I swear to God, I hadn't used a
felt
time
it in her
chip the whole time.
bones.
I had like, I think I had 9 or 10 time chips sitting in front of me, and I was like, kept using them. I like took my glasses off to like really look at him. Like I was tortured.
I had
Christ.
such a weird hand in the prime that's actually I think is the whole reason I cashed. I had a big stack, and I opened under the gun kings, 2 red kings, and it folds to the button. He flats, and then the big blind comes along for the ride.
Sure.
We go to a flop, and it's Jack 10 something, 2 hearts, so there's a flush draw. I c-bet third pot, and the button flats, and then the big blind raises, and then I put him all in because he only has like less than 20 bigs behind. So I put them all in to get the button out of there, and button folds, and the guy has Jack 10. Oh, we have a heart, so I wasn't scared about the flush draw.
Yeah.
And he has Jack 10, so he has 2 pair, and he holds. But after we show our hands, the guy on the button was like, I folded aces, and he had showed the cutoff, and he's like, why didn't you raise pre-flop? And I was like, I opened under the gun. I did raise. Why didn't you raise pre-flop? And he's like, I thought you were the big blind. He's like, I thought you were the big. I didn't
He thought
know.
he opened?
And he thought he opened.
I've done this a lot.
And so he was like mind blown, and he covered me. So like
It kept you in.
he kept me in. Like
Yeah.
if he had raised, I would have jammed pre-flop,
For sure,
and we would have been out of the tournament. But because of his blunder and the fact that the guy had 2 pair and he folded his aces.
I have a similar story. I may have told it on the pod before, but it's wild. In 2021, on day 4 of the main event, I was at the side feature table. It was like a relatively tough table. It was me, Chance, Jason Kuhn, and there were a few other pros there.
Relatively.
Jack, who ended up getting 3rd that year, he was at that table. Jack Oliver. And there was a hand that happened. We were all super deep, like well over 1 million chips, and I think the blind level was like, I don't know, maybe 20K. It might even been smaller. It might have been like 10K. So like we were all like somewhere between 50 and 150 big blinds.
Oh shit.
I have piles. The guy to my left has me covered slightly. So I think he had like 1.2 and I had like 1 million flat. And he was in the 9. I believe the dealer was on this side of the table. But it might have been the other side of the table. I was in the 3, he was in the 4. I think that actually is right. So I was in the 3, he was in the 4. She's pitching us our cards, and my first card like goes up on its side where only he and the 5 seat could have seen it. But it was so blatant to me that it had caught air, and like very likely that they saw it. And I was like, you have to expose that card. And she's like, no. And I was like, no, like you have to expose that card. I was like, fuck it, I'll just expose it. Like I know that I'm risking a penalty here, but it's like I'm not going to take the chance that they saw my hand.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it yet, but I just know that there's a good chance they did. So I expose it. It's the king of diamonds. I'm like, damn it. So
okay, I'll keep it.
So I get my next 2 cards, and the next card I get is the king of spades. So I would have had kings.
Yeah.
And instead I get king 9 off. So I just fold, whatever. Guy to my left in the 4 seat, he opens, big blind defends. It comes like 2-2-3, check, c-bet, fold. And I just like laugh and I go, tell me you didn't have a good hand, because that'd be so brutal. I should have had kings. And he goes, shut up.
And aces.
I should have had kings. He goes, I have aces. I go, no fucking way.
It's like these little things that change your whole tournament.
He shows aces. I end up shortly thereafter doubling through chance with queens versus I had aces versus his queens. So I cool him off for a monster pot instead of just busting here like I'm supposed to.
Right.
And it's just like, how on earth does that ever happen if we're not living in a fucking sim?
Exactly.
Like we have to just be in a sim. There's no way.
That's why I love live tournaments better.
Oh God, yeah.
Would
There's
never happen
so
online.
much. There's so much like little nuance
Yes.
in just the experience of being there.
Yes.
And that's why we stay off our phone, right, Landon?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he had it in his hands. I thought you got his ass.
No.
No, but every time I'm in a tournament with Landon, I see him on his phone. I'll like text him. I'm like, "Come on, baby, they're clues. It's a live tournament.
It's
These
Blue's
voices
Clues,
tell
yeah.
boxes. They're giving you clues."
Actually, you know, I can read the text she sent me. It's very good.
I did like her saying that they give you clues.
She
Get
wrote that
off
in the
your
text.
phone.
I swear to God. Here it is. Where is it? Where is it? Why do I not see
All
it?
right, we're out of it.
We're out.
All right, so I guess since
Too
we're talking
long.
about it,
was on
that can
Instagram.
get us into.
You put him on his phone.
I didn't do anything. He chose to do it, and
Get
he's
off
failing
that
miserably at
phone.
it. By the way,
He said, she writes, "Get off your phone, BB. This is a live event. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. These boys is tell boxes."
I'm a good friend.
My table is just like me, Mike Joseph, and like 3 other Euros, by the way, too.
I saw. All right, let's get into
Tell boxes.
Let's get into the muck since I'm sort of in the muck based off of my bust out hand, and then we can hear another one from Caitlin. So you guys get a bonus in the muck today.
Woo.
Double muck.
The old double muck.
I'm getting there.
Andre's in the muck.
Where is
I
These
prepped
pauses
them.
are as pregnant as
Daily
Kitty
assets.
Quo, am I right?
Sorry, it's the other daily asset. You have to hide the Sven,
Ah.
I liked
and
my
then
joke.
it's ITM, I think.
We got a smooth.
All right, so I will begin this by being a bit in the muck. I'm actually not in the muck. You know what? That's not true.
Whoa.
He's unmucked
Great
himself.
way to start in the muck segment.
Yeah. I am not.
Well, I'm out of the muck.
Okay.
Old me was certainly in the muck. So I late registered the 10K day 1B. Got there around whenever the second break was over, 3:30, 4 o'clock, something like that. I came at the 612 level. So have 100K at the 612 level. I've literally been dealt one orbit. I came in under the gun, and I'm now in the big blind one orbit later. So this is my 10th hand or 9th hand at the table. Are we playing 8 or 9 handed?
I think 9.
9.
9? Okay, so my 10th hand at the table. Under the gun opens. I have no reads. Don't know anybody. There's one guy that I'm chatting up about pickleball. Apparently, I had met him a few times previously. I truly didn't remember. Apologies. He called me out on it too, which is even worse. But so him and I are chatting. And Marco Johnson's at my table. He's the notable pro I recognize. It looks like 5 other Euros that I don't know. A lot of Svens. So under the gun looks like he's potentially a wreck. He opens for 2x. Under the gun 1 also almost certainly a wreck. Calls. Hijack is a pro. I'm pretty confident. He calls. The button then squeezes very small to 7.5 blinds. And I had already looked at my hand. I have ace king off in the big. So the reason why I say I'm out of the muck is because in the past, whether the button had 3-bet or not, my action out of the big blind would have always been to re-raise non-all in. So if it had just gone raise, call, 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 and now it's on me, with 80 bigs, I would have made it like 20 big blinds to go and just like 3-bet non-all in. When it goes raise, call, call, 3-bet small, I would have done the same thing. I would have made it like 22 big blinds and, you know, just lived with it, right?
Yep, the difference between being in and out of position.
Right, yeah. But
you can go smaller, go like 18.
But what I've learned from young Mr. Tice, who's constantly in the lab for MTTs and telling me that I need to play them more.
Big
and
tournament guy.
He tries to lure me in by giving me strategy every now and again.
I love strategy.
It's always this, like, oh, you can just be in. You can just be in. like basically, like, you can just jam here. And I'm just like,
You got the cadence right.
Yeah. You can be in. So I had a little Landon in my head, and I was like, I could be in. I could definitely be in.
I like that.
And I was just going to jam versus the open. So it was raise, call, whatever. I was just like, whatever, man. There's like 10 big blinds out there. This hand plays like shit out of position multi-way. I'm facing what should be 2 strong ranges.
Right. It also gets worse if it goes open like call.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, if I 3-bet 20 bigs and we just go 4 ways, like
rec
fuck
1
me.
calls, rec 2 calls.
Yeah, GG.
Disaster.
GG. Yeah. Danger.
Yeah.
Have aces.
Red alert. Yeah.
Just please have aces. So I was already planning on jamming. The button made it way easier for me because he chooses a very small 3-bet size, which means I think he's too linear, which is nice. Now we either win more or we flip more, which both cases are pretty good for us.
I mean, there's just so much dead money in the middle.
Yeah.
People forget this all the time.
Yeah.
Classic. Oh, like the best one. You don't have to risk 80 big blinds here. It's like
the structure's so slow, and we get to play post flop, and we get to see.
I didn't know everyone was post flop fucking geniuses.
Shoot those daggers at me. she is shooting daggers at me right now.
What are you talking about?
Why are you so grumpy?
Quit nagging me. I'm a sweet lady.
Caitlin's got.
I'm good at sex.
You can't say you're a lady and sex in the same sentence.
Yes, I can. I can, and I did.
She can, and
hey,
she will.
Lady. So anyway, moral of the story is I've learned a thing or two from Landon. I rip it. I'm happy with my shove. And
I'm happy too.
The guy starts talking to me. He goes, it's Jack's Race King, huh? No, maybe not. Are you cat jamming right now? He's a fan of the pod. Shout out my man. He's like, are you Landon? Are you just cat jamming it in right now? And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm loose, man. I am not taking ace-5 to the face here.
And you shouldn't.
I'm not that kind of loose. I would very happily just fold to your 3-bet if I look down at the ace in the 5. Like, I don't see red whenever I'm dealt that hand.
I see that.
You know, it's like if I get to open with it or I just get the 3-bet with it, like sure, I'm like, oh, this one's nice.
It's not red, it's burgundy.
Okay, fine. But whenever it's like, you know, a lot of heavy action, I was a little anxious with ace king. It's like, fuck, how's this gonna play out? Like, we're going to be all in and called here probably a lot of the time, and that's never a fun thing in a tournament. So he's like, are you cat jamming right now? I'm like, this motherfucker might call me with ace queen suited.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
No.
So I just kind of like joked back with him. Like, I truly don't care. I'm indifferent. Like, whatever happens. I'm happy to win the pot.
Speech play, bro.
Yeah. Like, hey, man, I'm just here trying to coexist with everyone. You want to get me out? Put your chips in the middle and let's gamble. Yeah. And he did just that. He eventually made the call with 10s, which we looked up later. It's indifferent, so it's kind of just whatever. I never stood a shot. I had ace king red. It came like 7-5 deuce black. Ugh. It was just over from the jump. So that sent me packing. I played 10 hands in the WBT 10K, and I said that was it for me. I wasn't going to play again.
Yeah. I would have fucked that up too, because like ace king suited in the machine, like pure piles, because out of position sucks, even though it's suited.
Yeah, I would have done the inverse.
I would have fucked up.
Yeah, I thought ace king off pure shove for sure. Ace king suited, like maybe mix, but yeah, we had it backwards.
Y'all get
Nikki, what
down,
do you do?
Y'all get down on me for being scared of ace king and putting all my money in the middle, but
those two things don't go together.
You're scared too.
You can't be scared of ace king and then put all your money in the middle.
No, I'll do it because it's what you're supposed to do, but I don't like it. And you're like, oh, you should like it. You should high five each other and shit.
Well, you know why? Because I'm happy to get out of there if it's my time. You know, I'm not afraid of that.
Well, yeah, because you're playing huge cash games where 10K in the pot on the turn.
That's true.
And like, I'm not. Like, a 10K is like, I put $10,000 in this tournament.
No,
like.
And I'm not trying to like be reductive. Trust me,
Yeah.
I've felt that way more than I felt the comfort of just being accepting of death.
Yeah.
But also, I realized that both of the feelings aren't useful because there's nothing that can control your.
But so that's why, like, we stick to strategy, right? Where it's like, well, because strategy doesn't have emotion in it, so it's like, okay, I'm supposed to put this hand in, so I'm going to,
right?
And I'm okay with dying on this hand, but I don't like it.
No, yeah.
I don't like it.
Dying's not fun.
No,
it's not fun for anybody.
I mean, like, there's a spot in the prime where it goes like, the guy plays too many hands open, another gun 9, 4, 5 calls. I'm small blind with king 10 suited with 75 bigs. I just pile it. Right, because like the only person that you're supposed to be worried about is under the gun 9.
Yeah.
And this guy's playing too many hands.
Yeah.
So he's clearly going to raise fold too much.
Yeah.
And everyone else is going to fold behind.
That's true.
Pile, fold, and then you just pick up 10 bigs. And you're like, oh, this is very easy.
10 bigs are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like it was an interesting spot to me because I think that most people just play no shove there, where like in theory Kings jams like 90% of the time. So
the
it's
spots
like
that are really uncomfy for me, less so than ace king, are the spots where the solver tells you to jam like 30 bigs from the blinds with like 6s and 7s.
Oh, it's all of those.
I hate that
30 big
shit.
blinds is like 6s, 7s, 8s,
Jack,
ace queen off.
Jack 10 suited, it says
And I-
that.
Jack 10 suited small blind.
And I've been doing it, and it like never works for me. And then
love
I
it.
feel like a dumbass. I'm like, did I just put 30 bigs in the middle with 7s, and I get called by 10s?
That's how I
and
lost
it's
in the
just, like,
prime.
don't you feel a little
done?
bit of a rush?
No, I feel like a dumbass. I'm like, why did I listen to a computer? Fucking Ted from Arizona always has it.
But that's the thing is they shouldn't have it when they open the button. It's very weird, the fucking
Yeah.
dynamic between people know that they should open the button wide, yet somehow you have these rejam spots and they somehow always have a call.
Well, because in theory, opening quote unquote wide is like half the deck.
It's like 53%.
Right. The issue is live. People who play quote unquote too loose open like
40%.
no, not even.
Not
They
even.
open like
30.
27% from all positions, and they might widen it to like 35 on the button.
Okay, 10-9 suited on the button. Now we're in there.
Right, yeah.
You know?
It's like, yo, you're supposed to be in
Jesus.
from the low jack.
Yeah. Or no, it's probably just more so like they're opening like, you know, king 8 suited from every position, and then on the button they're just like king deuce, fine. You know what I mean? Like they know where to widen, they just don't ever take it far enough. Or like ace deuce off. Yeah, like the old man coffee type that like shows up with ace deuce offsuit from the hijack opening is also opening it on the button, but he's definitely not opening like 10-9 off.
I got a double from a daddy 4-bet shoving ace deuce blind v blind. I had jacks.
Oh
it
my.
was so tasty.
So I
Thank
lost
you,
the-
Daddy.
Describe
I love
more.
you.
So I lost in the
Pat, that was
prime.
Pat.
Button open, I jammed 35 from the small blind with 8s. Big blind woke up with kings. It just like you look at the machine, computer beep 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 beep, and it's just burgundy for 8s. Like
Beep, beep,
8s, ace queen off. Like these are the hands you just need to be all in with because out of position sucks.
8s and ace king always bust me out of tournaments. Those two hands.
Well,
Yeah, well,
maybe you should stop playing them.
I will. You know
I
what?
think that's
I'm gonna stop.
That's clearly the
I think
test
that's what
theory.
we're getting from this
Stop
conversation
playing
is we
them.
all need to find more folds.
the second strongest move in poker.
Let's test
It's the
that theory.
second strongest move in poker.
Let's test that theory. No more 8s, no more ace king.
folded a set
We're
yesterday.
gonna follow and track your results.
I don't get it.
No.
No.
I like to do sound strategy, Matt.
All right.
Leave me alone.
Let's get a little bit into your hand, Caitlin. You had a hand where you turned 10s into a bluff.
Yeah, I'm humiliated. Please don't. Can you be nice to me because
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
volunteering this information?
Sure.
We don't kink shame.
You will get negged.
All right, we're at blinds 1.53K. I started the hand with 350 big, 350K.
So 120 bucks or so.
Yes, 350K, and I'm chip leading the table. They brought it was after
Yeah,
I won
you
my
are.
2 massive pots, and then they moved me to a new table. Everybody else was at starting,
And they were
I
like,
had the
whoa,
big
look at
pot.
this mama walking in.
But I had already lost a chunk because I 4-bet shoved ace king into kings and just doubled someone who had like.
there it
80
is
or
again, huh?
whatever.
Ace king.
Yeah.
It's a
I 4-bet shoved it. I ain't no puss. I
That's
got
right.
it in there.
you're in there.
Anyway,
Might have been a call spot.
where'd it go? All right. So I open under the gun 2, 10 of clubs, 10 of hearts, 6.5K.
Okay.
The hijack calls off of 150K.
Okay.
The big blind completes off of 90K.
Mm-hmm.
Flop 7 of clubs, 3 of clubs, 7 of hearts. The big blind checks.
Yep.
And then I do the dumbest thing I did all day.
No.
And I checked. I'm so sorry. I know I'm supposed to bet like quarter all the time. And I
No,
just
checking's
wanted,
fine.
I was 3-way and I wanted to like trap the guy to my left. I just thought he'd bet it. So I took what I think was a
Probably
mistake.
fine.
Yeah, you can do both.
I didn't hate it. I
Okay.
mean, I hated it personally because of what happened.
Sure.
Because then after the check round, ace of spades on the turn.
Okay.
And that's my card.
Yep.
So I decide to bet it now,
That's
which I
fine.
don't like.
No, it's totally fine. You're not betting big, so it's fine.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I bet.
Okay, so I bet
You don't
2x
know
pot.
yet. No, I didn't bet big. I bet 7K
And how much?
into it
Like
was
20K.
Yeah, 6.5 3-way. Yeah, about 21, 22K.
Like 24. So you bet like third.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably fine.
I blocked, and then the low
Worse.
jack called, and the big blind folded.
Okay.
River was the 2 of spades. I think it was the
Completing
3
flush?
of spades on the flop because it completed a flush.
Okay.
The river card completed a
And you
flush.
do or don't have the 10 of spades?
Maybe it was clubs that completed.
Okay.
I'm sorry that my notes are mistaken,
it
but I
doesn't matter.
definitely remember that
All
the
that
flush
matters
that
is
I had was completed.
Do you have the 10?
Yes, I have the
So you have the
flush
10
card.
blocker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So river 2 completes the flush. I decide to bet 18,000, and I just get called by ace queen.
Yeah, I would check river.
I know.
You're not. So, yeah, the problem is with the sizing, you're not really bluffing your hand.
I know.
A weird merge.
Yeah.
I know.
The pot's like, at this point, the pot is like 35K, right? So you're betting half pot.
It's like a reverse value bet.
Consider that pooch screwed.
Like sixes
You
are going to
just
start folding
value
for low
own.
jacks.
Yeah.
And even if they don't fold turn already, right? Because the ace is kind of scary.
Right.
I think I
do
meant
consider.
to size it up. I just kind of spazzed. Like
Well-
in my head, I was turning it into a
Well,
bluff.
I think your subconscious just tells you you're not allowed to bluff with this hand. So
a
instead,
lot of things were going on.
right. So instead, you just like kind of find this weird little merge.
I don't know. Like I think he calls 8s with that sizing on turn.
Probably
like
stabs flop, though.
Like some of. Oh, probably.
Right. He probably stops
Yeah,
flop.
that's true.
He's
That's
low
true.
jack,
That's
right?
fair,
7-7-3. You're gonna go
Yeah.
quarter.
That's
But
true.
yeah, but even if he does have 8, he folds river, or he should.
Yeah.
Right. You just lose the flush. You lose the
I mean,
ace.
probably folds the turn a ton. Like, how do you win?
Right.
How
How
do
do you make an 8?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Sure. Yeah,
I mean,
but this
that
that's
seems
kind of
abundantly
the
clear.
issue, right? And then like he's gonna complete a lot. He's gonna check back a lot of backdoor flush combos. So when she bets the turn, he's gonna peel with them, like king queen suited, king jack suited type stuff.
Yeah, I think the spot is actually very interesting. The hand doesn't really classify. Like it's probably just going to bucket into like a pure check, or if you have a block size, maybe you could throw it into there. But I think what's interesting about the spot and why maybe maybe you land in the muck and you end up in a kind of funny area is because it's not overly easy to recognize where you're pulling your bluffs from, and it's also not like quickly identifiable what sizing you would prefer to choose in this situation. And I think that's part of like kind of losing vision over what your opponent's range is, right? When he calls turn, he's very dense to ace X and flush draws. Now there'll be like some other things that he failed to stab with on the flop, like I guess like some pocket pairs perhaps.
Potentially, right?
Yeah. Some misstabs with pairs, maybe a slow played 7, but probably doesn't just call turn, right? So like we can basically rule a lot of this stuff out. There's no missed straight draws. The board, I mean, he could have 4-5, I guess, on the turn.
Which doesn't stab flop.
Yeah, that failed the stab. Multi-way, though, I think that's pretty reasonable to miss a stab there with 4-5.
This is why you stab a lot in position on boards like this, is because
Right.
you just generate so much like sandwich action really from big blind and original.
Yeah, so like whenever we come back then to how should we approach it if we recognize that the majority of imposition's range is going to be single pair ace, river flushes, and then like maybe the occasional misses. It does kind of come down to we want to construct a lot more linearly and not really concern ourselves that much with bluffs. So what this usually results in is the sizing similar to what you chose, maybe slightly larger, like 66, 75. But like you're not going to have overbets on this river.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Can't.
And if you're trying to target an ace to fold, it would require overbets, right? So at that point, then we ask like what better folds when we bet a hand like 10s, for example. And you would need them to have like queens or jacks.
That didn't 3-bet pre, didn't
or stab the flop. Right.
Yeah.
So like those hands are now basically non-existent. And the real reason why we default to like wanting to bet 10s as kind of an inherent, I don't really know what to do, so I'm going to kind of do a thing, is because check calling it sucks. Right? Like if you check, it doesn't matter what size comes. It can be quarter pot to fucking 2 pots.
Check.
And it just sucks.
Check raise river.
It's a little ambitious, but okay.
Might get in there.
Yeah.
Right, because like you check because you have showdown value, but when you bet, your showdown value gets diminished. Your hand's probably too good, but the idea is you want to use things like this because if it goes check, check, you might win.
Right.
But if they bet, you definitely don't win.
Correct.
But you don't want to use 10s, probably. It's too high.
It would be interesting. Yeah, I think 10s would be too
10s
high.
is too high.
It would be interesting to kind of look at this spot because I would be curious how much betting we actually do on the river, even though the ace is so favorable to us.
I think we block. I think most of our sizing schemes can be blocked
Just block.
because you have to protect some of the thin-ish value you want to have, like some ace X no suit.
Yep.
And then you're going to want to have like ace jack off with the club that you can like block call Then you want to have aces, of course, because you want them to do something and checking. Like they're always going to raise the flush anyway, so value. So you go block 3-bet.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with that sort of strategy. It's like the only real hands that start to suffer a little bit are very high flushes. Like we have hands like king 10 of spades type of stuff.
But whatever the fuck it is.
And the only reason they suffer is because people just don't raise like the queen high flush enough, which is frustrating.
Or they don't just raise enough bluffs either, right?
Correct.
Because you're supposed to get attacked pretty heavy in this spot.
Yep.
Because they're going to have a lot of flushes that complete.
Yeah.
And call it the sneak 7x sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like the amount of times you have that sort of king, queen of clubs or whatever versus the times you don't have this is going to be a lot less.
Right. You're way more dense to the single pair showdowns.
Because if you start playing 2 sizes now, the big size is going to be like better value. And then the small size, if you do get raised, you're unprotected.
Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning. What made you decide to want to check? Because it's reasonable, I think.
I was in the middle. I thought I had the best hand, and I planned to raise the hijack.
Oh, you're gonna check raise.
Yeah, I planned to raise.
You're gonna check and then raise.
How deep are you guys to start? Like,
they were 50 effective.
50.
Yeah.
I feel like turns get so scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's flush draw flop, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has a block, but like it's scary.
Turns get scary, and then like there's so many cards higher than a 10, and then when they float, because he can block and then call a bunch of ace high backdoors.
Yeah.
You're not gonna check raise that. Like you should check raise some ace high backdoors, but yeah, it gets dicey. He has more 7s than you.
It's really
7.
Not only is it like scary, but it's about how you build around that sort of hand too.
The range is scary.
I will say exploitatively, I could tell this guy was like shitting his pants. No offense if you're watching this, but like he was very, very nervous at the table.
Oh, then fucking bet all day.
Yeah.
Right? You just want to, if you didn't have 10s, you're a king queen. You just want to rocket it off, right? Like if I see somebody having a partial heart attack and I don't read that as significant strength, it's just like, all right, buddy, you're about to catch 3 shells.
Multi-way strats.
Good luck calling it down.
Man.
Yeah.
I don't want to give anybody like any false tells but one of like the most reliable live tells I have with men is that they breathe into their chest when they have it. Like huge chest breathing.
I thought,
and they look like they don't have it, but like that's them actually having it.
I thought that you were going to say that you hear this every time that they have a good hand.
No, that's what I hear when I wear shorts, Maddie.
Oh. Well, hello there.
It got spicy in here.
That's easy. Does your husband know about you being out of the house?
I asked permission before I came.
Does he know you're doing a podcast right now?
Would he approve of this in the muck segment?
Definitely not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that, well,
I don't know, man.
I get it.
Multi-way poker is
It was
fucking
the worst
hard.
hand I played all day by a mile. I gave myself like an early little walk around break to like, I was not happy with myself after the end of the hand.
Also makes me feel like if Nervous Bro calls turn on ace X bad for his range.
Scared.
I'm a lot more concerned.
Yeah. I think just like the whole takeaway from the hand itself though is just that we put ourselves in these positions where when our original plan fails, we panic because we don't want to abort, right? It's like we went from a hand that was strong enough to check raise the flop to now suddenly seeing what is a bad card for our hand, but a good card for our range. And we just like want to start shoveling money in the hopes that we return a pot.
Good players find ways to win pots, and they find all the bluffs, even the ones you can't see.
The best players use the second strongest move in poker.
They fold.
Yeah. Like I played a hand day
if you're
one.
the tortoise, the strongest move is to check first.
Yeah. Day 1B, it was under the gun 9 versus my big blind. I had king 10 of clubs, like 100-ish effective. Ace 5-4, 2 clubs. Ace is a club. Check, he c-bets. I check raise, he calls. Turn is, so it's like ace 5-4, turn 7. I barrel 75%. He calls. River offsuit queen. And I was like, this is the worst hand to potentially even try to bluff here. Like you just can't do it.
Yeah.
So I check. He checks back ace 8 of hearts and like looks at me and goes like, "Oh, I was hoping you were gonna fire the river there." It's like, yeah, well, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like you give up nowadays, huh?
I mean,
I'm proud of you.
You weren't gonna fire if you missed.
I was not
There's
gonna
no
fire.
way you're gonna fire when you make a queen.
No, I didn't make a pair. I made nothing.
Oh, I thought you said king.
10.
I thought you said king queen.
King 10. I had nothing.
Sorry.
No,
Okay.
yeah, straight nothing. It's just like bad hand to bluff. You have to try to make enough flush.
Yeah.
And if you don't, like, you can bluff if it's a 4-liner on the end.
Sure.
Right, where like you have all the straights and you check raise a bunch of the wheel cards, but you can't bet here. It's like, as much as I want to, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You will lose. You will lose.
I have a CSA. It was written 1 hour ago. Conrad Simpson.
Oh no.
He's at the win. Selling 70% of the 10.4K at 1.1. Need cash. 20% sold, 50% remaining. This was 1 hour ago. Let's see. 40% left. 27% sold out. Let's get it popping. Jesus Christ. You guys flooded his DMs quick. So he sold out in...
This was Instagram?
In literal minutes. No, I'm looking at Twitter.
Oh.
He sold out in literal minutes. So God bless, Godspeed to Connie. He's
God
out
bless
there.
Poppin' man.
He's out there in the fucking mix. I'm going to come join him. I kind of like this idea that I just get to go fucking gamble. I just get to go try to run up a stack. And if it fails, I'm going to go play a very big nosebleed cash game.
This is how you play tournaments anyways, man.
Yeah, but not mentally. Mentally, I'm going to survive and advance, and I'm going to do all the things, and we're going to see 3, and I'm going to like bet one big blind on many streets.
Tell that to Matt Berkey circa Secret Bounty Day 2.
Way different, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You get paid for busting people's asses. I was there for that. And not only do you get paid for busting their asses, but it's a Secret Santa gift. You don't even know what you're getting paid.
Getting paid in
It's
something.
like, let's go, big money. $10,000.
No, you
It's like a coupon to
Walmart.
Yeah.
You did well with bounties.
I was right at my expectation.
That's good.
So the bounties were worth like, I think that they were worth like 11,000.
Are you gonna play the turbo bounty?
What?
There's a turbo bounty.
I don't know what you're saying.
There's a turbo bounty.
Yeah, I understand.
MTT.
Right.
At the win.
Oh, okay.
WPT.
Is it a 10K?
No, he's like hard for punting off the 10K. Let him go.
No, he said he likes bounties.
Yeah, but is it a 10K?
No.
Okay, is there a $1 million mystery bounty?
No.
I'm out.
Okay.
Want nothing to do with it. I'm out of here. An actual public service announcement. It seems as though Marley has tripled.
Hell yeah, let's go!
Let's go, Marley. Let's go, Marley. I don't know how reliable the info is, but I trust our chat. Let's go. Let's get it done.
Pray for sis. Pray for sis.
2 tables left, maybe 2.5. Well,
Does
2.5
she
is
have 20
technically
bigs or
3.
something? So now she deep?
Let's fucking go.
Maybe she might have got crippled down to like 2 bigs and then triple.
Okay, we don't know, but we're happy.
But she's in.
The triple when you have
She's
sub
in
10
there.
bigs.
She's fucking in. She's fucking in. We love to see it. Quick reminder to everybody. Today is the final day that you can register for the Academy and get the $500 discount. You can just head to academy.solveforwhy.io. And I think we actually have a new promo video that Guapo's fill-in is staring intently to run.
Oh dear.
Oh no. It's
Oh,
labeled
no.
Academy. There we go. My apologies to Pigtails Production. I accidentally put a filter on that video whenever I uploaded it. It'll be corrected the next time you guys see it, but the brightness is way up accidentally. But anyway, if you guys would like to join us for any of the 2024 dates, which we have announced January 15th through the 17th, there's another Cash Academy in March as well as May, and a Tournament Academy right before the WSOP starts in May that will be led by Matt Hunt. You can sign up today at a $500 discount. Obviously, if you have to cancel, we're happy to give you a refund, so don't sweat it. Head over to academy.solveforwhy.io. I have one last note on the run of show. Actually, I guess I have 2.
You should probably talk about what the thumbnl and title was.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess I have 2. I guess I have 2. Well, I didn't want to skip over you 2.
Oh, thank you.
But let's talk about it. We kind of already mentioned it a little bit, the WPT cash game rolling tonight. The headliner, so to speak, even though it's a pretty star-studded cash game, is the return of G-Man. And this is like G-Man week.
Yeah.
He came back to Bally's Live on Wednesday. You were there.
I was there. Yes.
How did that go?
It was. I mean, he was nervous. I mean, obviously, it was like he hasn't been on the felt for over a year, but he.
You don't think he's playing his baby heads up? You don't think he's playing his newborn heads up?
Oh, he's definitely playing his newborn heads up.
Nah, he's gonna run good though. He's a kid. That's how it works.
Yeah, no,
baby run good is
he's
legit.
back in the action. I mean, like he was the big winner of the night, and he even played Jack 4 in a hand, which was
based
like a funny thing.
He did. I think you can just like roll that as B-roll if you want. Guapo Jr.
But he wasn't really rusty.
But yeah, he had a blind versus blind spot versus Pearson where he did Person.
Pearson textbooks.
Pearson seems a lot better. Let's rename him the Pearson. I think I have that kind of power here on the mic.
Sure.
So against Person, blind versus blind, I think he called with Jack 4 suited, flop top pair and a flush draw.
A good hand.
Bets. Eric check calls. Turn 3, check. River brick. I think Garrett just went for like really thin value on the end, and Eric somehow leveled himself into a block fold, which is very reasonable actually, considering both of their kickers are trash. But it's funny because the what do I want to say? Like the social media and whatnot was like, Garrett bluffs with Jack 4. It's like,
Yeah, I think he thought he had the best hand.
Yeah, bro just was like, he had a whale on the other end. And he was like, I think I can get value for top pair.
It's a better headline.
It is a better headline.
Yeah.
It clicks a little bit better whenever it's him bluffing with Jack 4. I also saw he memed and bought into the game for $135K.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking cold.
Well, what's crazy is he basically won that amount. Like he won like 132K, but it's pretty funny.
That's fucking cold-blooded. That is just like the biggest bird
Based
to everything that's going on right now. And you know, I don't know how we feel about it. Like Guapo, he's out there working the streets. He's got his picket sign.
He's got his mask on. He's got his picket sign.
Mask on.
Yeah.
Garrett returned.
He's out there with COVID.
Returned the 135,000. Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. But I think that everybody is anticipating a bigger game tonight. So the Bally's was it 1-2 or 2-4?
I think it was smaller than that.
Really?
It was either 1-2 or 50-100.
Oh, it definitely wasn't 51.
Okay, then it was 1-2.
Okay, so I think it was 1-2. Might have been 1-2-4. 100K minimum buy-in. Game was good. Don't get me wrong. But like you said, Garrett was the big winner. 135K. Tonight is going to be, I believe, 300, 600 with a 600 ante. I expect to be straddles on based off of the lineup. 100K minimum buy-in. But honestly, like the more I'm speaking it out loud, the more nervous I am actually getting that I am not liquid enough for this game. Like I plan to take 400,000 thinking like, oh, 100K at a time will be very reasonable. But if we're playing 3-6-12 out the gate, I just got to sit with all of it. You know, there's I'm not going to play a tournament. I'm not going to sit there with 80 bigs.
Yeah, you're already playing one of those.
Yeah. I'm already, that's true. I might only have 390K by the time I get there.
They'd be simultaneously playing.
You could always
That's
just,
also true, too.
play the 10,000 event you're entering. I don't know. I may be taking crazy pills here, but
You are.
Have you met my man Santosh?
he's handsome. Is he married? 'Cause does he like chubby white girls? Do I have a chance?
He is absolutely the best. I'll try to put in a good word
Will
for
he
you.
give you $5 million up top?
No, but he'll give me a high five and probably let me play like a $250,000 pot with him.
There you go.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I think tonight will be very interesting. Like it's a good mix of very strong players, Garrett, Roble, and the like, and then a lot of fun splashy players like Santosh fucking V-Pips, like a man who has more money than God, and I love it. Like he's the nicest, happiest human being I've ever come across.
From what I hear, he's one of the only guys that plays in these lineups that doesn't ask who he's playing with.
Doesn't
he
give a
just
fuck.
says yes and shows up.
Literally just says yes, shows up. Doesn't give a shit. He knows that he'll always get a good game. Like everybody's looking out for him. And the man is just, I played with him on Bally's and I can't remember what happened, but I think he just like bet twice out of flow where he would like defended big or something like that. And then just like went lead or whatever and just drilled something. I can't remember if he like made trips or he had a gut shot or something. I think he stacked Eric. And I just remember like looking at the hand, and he was just so happy. There was no way anybody could be upset about it. It was just like, oh man, that sucks for Eric. But like, look at the joy that it brought this man. This is what we're here for. You know, just a guy who's fucking around and everyone else is finding out. That's kind of the beauty of, I think, these televised games. But I kind of digress on that. I think that the other thing I was going to say is Garrett's still a big draw. That's like abundantly clear. I looked at the numbers for Bally's, and it's the most watched video that they've had in the last year at 235K.
Well, I think we peaked at like 17K concurrent viewers.
Yeah, which is great. That's somewhere around what Hustler does on a Friday. So they already have 235K's views on this video. To give you a comparison, when it was me, Rob Young, Roble, Doug, and Santosh, I think that video only got 205,000 views, and that was months ago. So it's only been 3 days since Garrett's return. Already surpassed their most watched video. I expect it'll keep rolling. WPT, share hands, like they have some of the best production in all of poker. I expect today I think it will crack 20K.
Definitely.
One of my favorite aspects of the return of Garrett, how there's been a lot of back and forth, and I don't have any insider information, maybe y'all do, about Garrett demanding an appearance fee, which I think is a good trend because, I mean, right now, players are not compensated for playing on live streams right now. Yeah. And I think it's a good shift in the culture to have some of the stars because that'll have a trickle-down effect. Yeah. And people who are putting their tits out there on the line for these streams for hardly any gain to themselves besides maybe like self-promotion.
People would play tougher games too.
Huh?
People would play tougher games too.
Yeah, for sure.
If they got paid.
For sure. Like if Bally's one day woke up and said, hey, we're going to give you $100,000 a month. And what we want you to do is make sure that we have a 100 game 4 days a week. I would find a way to build a 100 game 4 days a week. Like,
doesn't matter who's in it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like whatever. Like bring the 7 toughest players in the world. It doesn't matter. I can't have a loss rate so great that I'm not still making money on this deal. And
they're making money too for showing up and playing.
Yeah. Yeah. It incentivizes everybody. I would only be speculating. I don't have much insider info on this, but I'm very positive he's not getting paid for WPT. I would doubt he got paid for the Bally's return, but like, I don't know, crazier things have happened. I imagine a lot of what the speculation is that Vertucci was alluding to is that Bally's is kicking off live at the Commerce sometime in early 2024. So I don't know if they struck a deal with Garrett or not, similar to the deal that they struck with Eric for Bally's Live here in Las Vegas. But that doesn't seem out of the question. You know, he's the golden boy of live stream. Why wouldn't you want to ink him to some sort of committal contract that has him playing on your stream X amount of times a month?
And people I wouldn't care either, you know, like we'll pay you X amount of money, you can just play whoever.
Yeah.
Now, like the idea of the game selection or stuff along those lines where it gets a little bit tricky kind of goes away.
What were you going to say, Caitlin?
I just think it's really hard for the streams to make money back if it is like any significant stream. Like the Lodge stream, that stream can't be making a lot of money. Like it's a great show and but it's like advertisement for their club, right? They're not necessarily trying to make a lot of money about it. But if they bring Garrett in, is that like a worthwhile investment for that stream? Like, could that give them the kind of growth where they're self-sustaining?
I think your instincts are correct. The top end is so low. Like, don't know to the dollar what Hustler makes, but we could probably guesstimate. There probably isn't a lot of wiggle room for overhead. You know, with all the production costs, 5 days a week, all of that stuff, and then you need some meat on the bone for the owners to actually be able to take profit. There probably isn't a lot of wiggle room there within the budget to be able to go out and get a high-profile player, quote-unquote, to sign. So you just try to entice them with good games. Same thing with the Lodge, Poker Night in America, things like that. But like Poker Night in America and Bally's are kind of in a different position because they're owned by major corporations. Poker Night in America is owned by Rush Street Gaming. Bally's Live is owned by Bally's. And now I don't know if profit is necessarily their aim, right? Like this is more of a marketing tool if they use it properly. And the point is to like get their brand out there, be associated in poker, as well as like any subspaces that like may overlap where you have your I would assume anyway, I don't know this, but I would assume that they're building these things to acquire audiences, right? Target audiences nonetheless. If you want to get, you know, people on your sports betting app, poker's a pretty good avenue to have a very niche target audience where you can convert to a lot of sports bettors. If you want to get a partnership with, Manscaped, like same thing. You know very well what
do I? Sorry.
Sure. But like very well what the audience is that you're acquiring whenever you invest into this. And I could see a world where like Bally's, Rush Street, they're like, yeah, we don't care if the stream is losing, X amount per month. What we care about is that we're growing the eyeballs month over month, year over year, and that audience is then being converted into customers elsewhere. So if that's the case, sure. Definitely could see a world where like, G-Man's making an athlete's contract, so to speak,
That would be kind of sick, huh?
And he should, right?
People start having like contracts to play on stuff.
Yeah.
Be dope.
That'd be fucking great.
You might have a job.
Probably not. I don't really
You're
see
good
how
for the
that
game.
would work. Have we caught up?
Oh, you have the run of show in front of you.
Well,
I don't have it.
I have catch
What
up.
does it say on there?
Catch up with Caitlin and Nikki.
Okay. You
Let's
caught
see.
up.
You cashed the prime.
Yeah.
Meetup game. Oh, we didn't talk about the meetup game. We did a little commentary.
That was the vlogger stream. Yeah, the vlogger stream. Yeah, I've been working with WPT on a couple different things. There was a vlogger stream I did commentary for with Tony Dunst, and then there was a sit and go where I stood in for Lynn Gilmartin because she's coming down with something, and then we were helping someone win a 10K package, and there was a meetup game to kick things off. Caitlin was there too, and Phil Ivey was there, and Gus Hansen.
Gus Hansen showed up.
Yeah, he showed up.
Son of a
That's
bitch.
right. We had to book it. Me and Matt had to book it.
Did you pay?
Yeah.
I paid.
You're rich.
He does pay his dues.
A Berkey always pays
I just
his
need to know
debts.
if he's on contract, because if so, I really took the worst of that. Like if he was actually paid to be there, I'm an idiot. I'm just an absolute idiot.
I just felt like they were advertising it everywhere, all over Twitter. Like for him to not show up, the odds on that.
And I was betting the other side where it's like, they advertised a dozen different people to play live streams all week and none of them fucking came. Like that's just.
Well, if
Gus Hansen's a big timer.
Phil Ivey is gonna show up.
I know he's on contract.
Okay.
He has his 4 appearances a year. And this is for sure one of them. Like I would have never bet against my man Phil, but Gus, I feel like he might be just in Bobby's room, fucking playing Chinese against some rando for way too many dollars a point, and getting him to a meetup game where they're playing 1-2 no limit seemed.
Well, if you
like
had
a
put
stretch.
like a time limit on it, he was late. He was like an hour late.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but a little.
It was bright and early.
Yeah, it was.
It was at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yes.
Really getting the OMC types, huh?
But it was packed because it was great games. They were really fun. They're very splashy.
I heard.
A lot of all-ins.
I heard great things.
It looks like Marley is 16 left in UPT.
Let's go, Marley!
Restart tomorrow.
Let's go. 2 tables left.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for her.
Day 5.
Pray for sis.
Probably biggest cash of all time. I think her previous biggest cash was like 35K.
It was 38,000.
Okay,
I checked. It
yeah,
was in the
I looked
main.
Was that the main last year for the WPT?
2021 main event. She got 252nd.
Okay. That's a nice run. You feel good about that. That's day 5.
Good, but not great.
Good, but not great. Day 5 in the main event. It's a thrilling thing.
I wouldn't
can
even know.
speak
I've
to.
never made day 2 really.
I've never made
you
a day
understand.
3.
I've never won a tournament. Anybody else want to confess?
Sad.
Do you have anything you want to confess?
No.
If you were to confess the 10's hand.
You can't win a tournament when you abandon them
What
midway
are
to
you
go
going
play
to do
cash.
with the $5 million, Caitlin? Since you got chips in the bag.
Hookers and blow.
Okay.
HDB.
No. I'll probably get a bigger fish tank.
Oh no. She doesn't deserve it. Give her third.
Last year she said if she won, she wouldn't ever fold her laundry again.
I like that.
Yeah.
That is a good thing to commit to.
Don't fold yours anymore.
I would
I know,
definitely
that's my point. When you acquire wealth, you should be able to pay for convenience. That's the biggest reason to work your ass off to make money.
I might stop driving, honestly. If I had
Oh,
that
you
big
met
of a
Landon.
score, I would start like
Hey.
Ubering everywhere.
I like driving.
I like driving too.
I like Ubering.
You've been working with poker.org and Conrad?
Yeah, it's been so fun. So I did 5 with Conrad. Yeah,
Good
so I
working
did 5 days of content creation and kind of reporting, and I was like playing some of the days and sending them footage, and they were helping me edit. And then some days I was not playing and doing all my own editing, as well as shooting and conceiving these concepts and doing like a lot of 1-minute style mini vlogs for them. Been really enjoying it. They have a great team. It's, Poker News is like a great outlet for like hand reporting and stuff, but Poker.org is really trying to do something different with like, more fun, partnering with a lot of these young content creators like Casino King and
Why was Alan Kessler trying to get Casino King fired?
No reason.
it's kind of hilarious. He just is curmudgeon-y, and it's a bit now.
Because Alan is the Casino King.
I dug into this just
Okay.
because I was wanting to do I wanted to do a segment. I thought it would get juicy. It really just stopped at like, nah, he just picked me and started like saying I should be
what it is
fired.
because like Casino King is actually trying to reach a broader audience, and he's built that especially on the TikTok and Instagram platforms. So he's dumbing it down. It's sort of like how the next gen kids taught us, like, you don't say 3-bet and 4-bet. Nobody knows who that is or what that is if you're not a poker player. But if you say raise, you get 5 million clicks because like the guys that are just peripheral, like I play in my basement and before and after the circle jerk with my friends. And
Yeah, I actually do think that like sometimes on Strat Chat days, like saying 3E and 2E, like it does block a lot of the general public from understanding.
It does.
Things.
And this is my own cross to bear, because my mind has always just been like, well, this vernacular is going to bleed into
daily life.
Well, it's going to bleed into the community if you are at all in the know. So like once you surpass the barrier of just like casual viewer and you play with any level of seriousness, like certain things just bleed, like 3-bet, 4-bet, that just bled its way in to common vernacular, right? And I was just like, okay, well, like, we're an educational source also. So it's like, if this thing is going to be a thing, I feel like we should just use it properly. But I think you're right. Like, we should use it and then also explain it every single time.
Yeah, 100%. There's like, if you add
I kind of
context.
run into this with my impression videos, right? Because it's like the people that are in the know of poker and they're on Twitter, they think like, oh my God, she's nailing it. She's totally got it. But you don't know how many people in my real life, my friends, that I don't even bother telling them I make the damn videos. They wouldn't know a single person in them. They're like completely off the radar. And they're like, oh, your poker's going well. I tried to watch one of your videos. I like the faces you make. I didn't know who anybody was. Like even people that are like dealers or like game girls.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I hear you're a content creator. I tried to watch your content. It was lost on me.
I feel like
I
used to be so much more aware too, but even I started, like my husband doesn't play poker and I'll be like, yeah, I barreled turn. And he's like, I don't know, what is that? Barreled? What is barreled? And I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I guess even that is like,
I bet
and he
again.
watches all the streams. Like he actually he loves watching and he likes keeping up with like poker stuff, but he doesn't really understand like terms past, general, very, very general terms.
It's really hard when you're always in it to not want to simplify stuff and make it as
accessible.
Well, no, almost inaccessible, right? Because like we create so much vernacular and slang in order to make things short form.
Yeah.
Right. So like barrel just feels it's more colorful than bet. I bet again. Right? That's so cumbersome and like unnecessary to say if you're talking to somebody who has any idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I barreled. You know what I mean?
It's just easier to say than I bet again.
Right. Of course. And it also, again, it's like more colorful and powerful
double,
and everything else.
right?
Yeah.
But it is a fun way to draw people in. Like when I'm teaching my beginner ladies courses that I do back in Austin, like when I teach them a new term, like I say the nuts for the first time, and it's just or this is a wet board texture. They're tickled pink. They love it.
Right.
And they feel that much more a part of the club that like, I can identify a wet board now,
I remember
sexual.
I have needs, Matthew, and I'm gonna need you to like not judge me if that's okay.
One of the needs is to shut the fuck up, Matt.
No judgment at all. This is really hard not to crack up at.
Sorry. It may or may not have been a minute, Matt. Leave me the fuck alone.
I just have a very, very immature sense of humor.
Oh yeah, and I don't.
No, I know. That's my point. That's look, we're here. I can't let it slide.
Perfect.
It's one of those things. But yeah, I agree. I think that
like when I was watching Brad Owen videos when I was like first getting into like studying and learning strategy, like even like the straddle, I had to like Google because the straddle's on.
And that sucks because there's no other term for it.
Yeah.
It just is actually a term.
Or a squeeze. I was like, what's a squeeze? Like,
right.
Blind raise was an option.
Yeah, it's so redundant, or not redundant, but
what's
like
the option?
Yeah.
What kind of option?
No, it is more simplified. Like once you get in it, but yeah, I just if people aren't even getting those terms, then like the 2E, 3E, or even in the poker community is
for sure
confusing people.
Absolutely,
I don't even
for
know
sure.
2E, 3E.
Yeah, it's
Are you saying G or E?
No, E.
Like
It's
geometric
bet sizings. I know. I've
She's-
only learned
she's
since I
out.
started working with
Caitlin,
them.
We are gonna blow your mind.
Promise, Daddy.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
You
This
are-
is Daddy, Caitlin.
Look,
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're in for a treat.
Hey, Landon, what's up? We are also here.
Can we not be anymore?
Okay, Mom. Yeah, I think that I think poker definitely has a problem with this, and we only make it worse. Like
By speaking too smart.
Yeah, I recognize that we are a root of said problem, especially being on the mic 5 days a week.
only for short form content.
Yeah, yeah,
so what Caitlin was where this originated was like Casino King and Next Gen. They're reaching a broader audience because they're simplifying it for people, and they're bringing more of the general public who like play casual home games
Right.
into like watching poker content. And I think that's really necessary for the space.
I totally
to
agree.
grow it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think like it goes hand in hand with the live streams. Like if there's a way that you can marry those two together, because you do have such an encapsulated audience that has massive turnover, right? That 16,000 concurrent is like maybe 35, 50,000 uniques. Something ridiculous like that.
And honestly, all of these content creators that are blowing up on TikTok and Instagram are little sweetie pies. I love these handsome boys to death. We got to play with them on Poker Night in America. Casino King, Sethy Poker, who has like several videos on Instagram that have like over 2 million. They're not hard to look at.
His Instagram pops
all
off.
handsome boys.
Speaking of next gen ushering in the next generation, broadening the audience, if you will. Shout out to Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankie's bringing in the next generation himself.
Daddy Frankie.
That's Sethy Poker.
That's Sethy Poker.
Kitty finally made the public announcement. They have one on the way, a little bun in the oven, if you will. Congratulations to those two.
They have an ace in the hole.
Oh no.
Say it.
I will not.
Put it in your
Ace over
mouth.
Nikki and Caitlin. I don't know how the rest of it goes.
It goes, wow.
They like to talk. Sometimes they play poker.
On that note, it's been a wonderful show. Thank you, Nikki and Caitlin, for joining us. When can we expect the little ace holes?
There'll be our last episode of the season drops next week.
Okay.
It's Ebony Kenny.
Okay.
And then we're taking off for Christmas, New Year's. We'll restructure. We come up with stuff. We need a little pause so that we could like come out with season 2 and have some new bangers.
We have a couple of new sketches in the chamber that are shot.
Yeah, some of them have already been shot and not out yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have a couple.
We taught
in the
Landon how to
chamber.
drive too.
That's
over
true.
the summer.
That'll be coming out soon. Oh, maybe you guys can come to Tahoe and brainstorm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well,
All right.
just
I will
throwing-
take a
just
free
throwing it out there.
vacation. Yes, please.
Let's relax. You gotta
Add
talk.
me to the payroll, Matthew.
You gotta talk to Daddy Landon over there.
You're
He
Daddy.
can take care of you.
This is actually Daddy.
All right, that's gonna get us out of here. I have a tournament to go play and a cash game to
Tournament to go ignore to go play a cash game.
a cash game for me to go press my nose against the glass and try to get in there. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Andre, I feel bad we didn't even bring you into the conversation today, buddy, but you did a great job.
Fuck you guys.
We love you too.
You were wonderful. You saved the day. You spared me from having to be
real quick. I just muted you guys. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea. That's going to do it for us. We'll be back Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific. The whole squad should be here, hopefully minus one person who's in day 4 at that point. Otherwise, we'll see you guys all then. Bye.
Bye.
There is